Good afternoon, everybody. It's RT here in the lab to talk about altcoins, Bitcoin, ETH, the whole market. Why the hell did metal just pump like 300%? And what information can we take from that about what may be coming in Q2 for altcoins and the rest of the market? Also going to dive into BitClout Pulse, what's hot right now, and what I see on my feed every day that makes me feel pretty good about what's coming up over there. First of all, let's talk about Bitcoin dominance. Right now, consolidating below the 20-week MA, just looking drippy. And if this breaks, that is a key level. People will see that and they'll say, it's on. ETH BTC typically drives the price action on that chart. And right now, it's just kind of sitting here, also looking pretty weak, not that exciting. So it may be a reason why we're seeing lots of altcoin growth across the market, but no real break on Bitcoin dominance just yet. I want to see some volume come into this pair. Right now, even with this little pop yesterday, it's still trending down. It's still looking nosebleedy. Any kind of breakout on volume here, and I'll be looking at every dip I can find. And that should take us, if we get that, on this Bitcoin dominance chart below the local range lows, which is going to send us into the next phase of this risk-on window, if we can get it. I don't know, but I'm looking hopeful. I'm thinking it's probable for Q2. One of the reasons that I think that, we're going to take a look at the metal chart here. As many of you may know, if you watch leaderboards, this thing just exploded yesterday for multiple hundreds of %. And you might think, what did they do? Did they partner with Samsung? Did they do something crazy? All they did that I can see is announce that they got a money transmitter license for the state of Washington. And that's not nothing. That's not small, tiny news. But 300%? Really? 150% on the day? Really? To me, that speaks to an internal strength in the market where altcoins are just looking for a reason to go crazy. If any of you were around in 2017, you may remember the ridiculousness that ensued near the end of the year. Now, of course, that was total retail mania, but we had things like new websites coming out for a coin, and it would just pump 10x, 1,000%. And obviously at peak mania, things are a little crazy like that. But for me, an announcement of a money transmitter license, again, not nothing, but the fact that it sent price over 150 to 200, possibly up to 300% depending on when you bought, it's a really good sign. And projects tend to hold on to big news, catalysts, or developments or announcements until environments like this emerge, because they are shareholders, they are stakeholders, they have tokens too, and they also want their community and their supporters to be rewarded. So if you have, for example, a boring bear trend, you may hold on to some important news, say, we're going to launch this, we're going to set this up, we're going to drive this as part of a marketing campaign at the right time. So when I see this happening for metal on that announcement, I think teams are going to see that, projects are going to notice that, and they're going to be starting to release more bullish news. So expect to see more news coming out from projects that perhaps have been a little quiet for a while. ZRX, another one that's just waking up today right out of the reload zone. So this is looking like a really sexy chart right now for Bitcoin pair traders, as it's possibly going to confirm bullish market structure today. We, of course, need to wait for the daily close, but that's one that I'm keeping a very close eye on down here, as once that confirms, any kinds of dips will be exciting for me. Solana is another trade that I took over the weekend. If you guys follow me on Twitter, which you can do at @randomtask555 over the weekend, talking about Solana. I should pull up the exact chart that I am trading right now. This is a log. We don't want log. So this is a bot long setup, and once it closed above the 25, it's a go. Typically, you want to wait to buy at here, but I already have a position, and I just wanted to see this consolidation confirm that it was headed to the upside, which it looks like it did on this close right here, making a new local candle body high. So I added to my position there, and I said, you know, I'll pick up more if I get down here, down here, down here. So far, hasn't happened. You may expect to see Serum play a little bit of an echo there, because this market, like all markets, likes to echo. And so you want to look for things that are similar to things that are doing well. Other names that I am watching right now include OMG, coming up off the lows like we looked at on stream last week. Said, don't be surprised if there's a big spike in volume and then suddenly it's off to the races. When this thing moves, it likes to move hard. So I'm going to be keeping a close eye on OMG, possibly even picking up a little retest down here at basically 1,050. Rep doing its best to come off these lows as well. Another one we looked at last week. Lots of buy volume flooding in down here. So this looks like an accumulation range. Doesn't mean I want to buy this high right here, as it is just a range for now. So a big breakout, then a retest, or dripping back down to the lows. ONT is an active trade I've got working its way higher to TP1. Probably a little late for that one. Storage, kind of crazy. We had this on stream last week as one that looked ready for fireworks, and it has shown that. So you guys can see there's a lot happening in the market, even though it's not like a full-blown FME alt season just yet. There are tons of names bubbling up at the lows with big volume coming in, which shows me that whales, other big players, are rotating Bitcoin into alts. And that's something that's really important if you want to look at it like a Q2 scenario for an alt season. As Bitcoin is coming up, you know, declining volume, possible bearish divergence, actually a confirmed bearish divergence here on the RSI. This thing could go too. It could go ham, but for now, it's just kind of exhausted, boring, doesn't seem like it's the focus in the market right now. And with all the buy volume that I'm seeing coming in on BTC pairs, it tells me a large proportion of Bitcoin is actually being rotated into alts right now, setting the stage for what could be an explosive Q2. Is Ethereum consolidating above support right here? I think it is. Looks like it is. We've got a little fib pong going on. For those of you who don't know, this is what I draw up on my chart to find a game of fib pong. So you have your low, sort of new bullish structure here, breakout. So I'm going to count that as a valid low. Coming up to the high, so I draw that up, and now we're back down in the fib. So I could potentially trade from here. Then where is my target going to be for that trade? Well, it's going to be up here in the other fib. So that high down to that low gives me a short reload zone here. Now, usually fib pong only really announces itself once you get at least two. So what does the third look like? Right here, came down. There's your long. And right now we are back up into it for yet another. And that's your take profit. So nice little fib pong trading going on here as the consolidation continues. And you can kind of see how these things, as they get smaller and smaller and smaller, kind of form the triangles that you see all over the market. It's really just a bunch of fib pong going on. And right now, consolidating like this above resistance, support, even though volume looks weak, this generally to me is quite bullish. It's not like it went up and then just died and it was a blow off top or something like that. It's just kind of taking a breather right now, figuring out what it wants to do regarding EIP 1559. That's going to be one of the main narratives throughout the next couple of months. It's a strong platform, extensive network. Visa just announced that they're exploring settlement options with USDC or crypto.com collaboration. So I think this one is going to be just fine. In the meantime, this quietness on Ethereum is opening up a door to speculators on other blockchain solutions, other platform plays. And we saw in 2017 a platform pump across the market where basically everything was the next Ethereum. And I think right now there is some real possibility that the door is open for these other blockchains to catch some time in the sun until Ethereum decides to break out of this consolidation. So if you have another platform token that you are fired up about, drop it in the comments below, and I'll be sure to cover it on DeltaFi and my own live stream on Friday, Hxro Labs Live. Let's get into it, because things like HBAR, for example, are getting some real nice bids in the market. And, you know, you can't argue with the price action on these as the volume is starting to pick up here, even as maybe breaking to new highs. There's a lot of other blockchains in here, and ETH is basically saying, come on in. I can't handle everything. What do you got? Now, over here on BitClout Pulse, you can see new additions to the website basically every other day. This stuff is iterating fast, and why not? There's a rush for an entirely new ecosystem, and I think it's BitClout Pulse and BitClout List are kind of the competing sort of CMC CoinGecko. Now, BitClout price is up to $155, still in a buy-only environment. However, Chamath was seen on a podcast this past weekend basically saying, yes, I did invest, and yes, this is what they're building, and it is pretty dope. So if you needed that confirmation, I already had good information that told me he was involved. We already saw him up here, which suggested some insiders already knew that. He's confirmed. But now we have him actually saying it. So I think we can put to rest the idea that this is some big elaborate scam. Whether or not you think it's going to be really bullish into the future and actually get attention and adoption, well, that's up for debate, and that is why we speculate. That's why we're called speculators. Now, I'm speculating this will do well. One of the things I love right now about my feed over here on BitClout is just the positivity. There's a really nice small community energy to it. It is growing very fast every day. You see some familiar names here, Luke Martin, not so fast, some other guys. And Maybeam is one you should definitely follow. She's been talking a lot about what's coming up, you know, hinting at some big announcements this week, all that stuff. She's one of the lead devs, it appears, involved with the project. So something to keep an eye on. Follow that account if you're interested. Other than that, you know, people are getting things tattooed on their asses, it looks like. So a lot of fun happening over here on this platform. And for now, it looks like Elon Musk may be the first to crack 6 figures for a creator coin. You know, I haven't done a lot of active trading. I've taken up some positions in big names that I believe, based on what I've heard, are going to be claiming their accounts. Names like Ariana Grande, Katy Perry, Justin Bieber. I mean, those people have huge followings. And so if some big celebrities like that who are in Scooter Braun's camp, who also came on Clubhouse and confirmed his involvement as though it was not already confirmed, they are all under his management. And I think the fact that they stood up on the leaderboard from day one tells me that some insiders probably already know that they're going to be announcing involvement, perhaps using this platform actively, giving out things to their fans who hold their coins, stuff like that. So I'm speculating that they will do quite well. And my positions are mostly locked in. I'm messing around with some smaller bags on little things, but generally speaking, don't have time for all that. I am focused mostly on altcoins. Now, one of the altcoins I'm watching that I haven't looked at in quite a while is Nexo. Been looking through their website, looking through their documents. Holding Nexo tokens gives you lower borrow rates, higher lending rates, things like that. I've actually got a friend who's got a sizable bag of USDC just sitting there, and he's getting a nice return. It's daily compounding interest, fully insured. So, you know, I'm looking at this and seeing the fall off in volume, which would make me nervous. But with the token use case, it strikes me as one that may just slowly tick up over time, because holding it gives you better rates, and that's really what they're all about over there. If you're putting money on Nexo, it's to accumulate an interest, borrow against your crypto, all that stuff. I'm thinking about a long here. I did pick some up, and I've been accumulating through this little dip here. If we can get into price discovery again, we could see a nice little break on volume as well, which would just take us to new highs. They're already a multi-billion-dollar project, so it's not like some diamond in the rough that you can get 100x on from here. But I'm excited for what they've built. I actually want to use it. So that's one I've been watching closely, starting to build a position, sort of regretting not doing it back here because I was looking at them down here, but it is what it is. And I actually need some of their token because I do plan to stake or hold some funds over there. And that'll give me a better rate. So I figure, better get some now. Other than that, we got Bitcoin coming up into the range highs here. Just poked through after tagging and rejecting on range highs, now poked through up to the 786. So it is starting to navigate the levels of this short reload zone. And it's either going to consolidate here, get exhausted, and then come back down, shake people out, test that, fill in this VPVR. If you didn't know, I should explain to you, VPVRs tend to want to be healthy. And a healthy VPR, this is right now a double distribution, where you sort of have two little areas. A fully filled in healthy VPVR that says price is ready to explore higher is generally a parabola. Based on that alone, it looks like we may need to come and visit that. Of course, this starts to fill in the more volume is traded at these levels. So it started to fill in during this. It may need to cool off again, come back in here, fill up some more. Who knows? That would actually be really good for alts versus Bitcoin, because like we said, when Bitcoin is ranging downwards, alts tend to dip versus Bitcoin in fear, and those can often be really great buying opportunities because generally speaking, overall, this thing is bullish, and so it's kind of a bullish range, and that's why I think we're seeing a lot of Bitcoin altcoin pairs doing well. My best performer of the week, along with CRV starting to break up, is KMD. KMD is working its way towards my profit objectives. I've already got a bunch sprinkled out basically from here to here. So if it can plow up into that, that's a great trade, and I'm going to move on for the most part. KNC is a position I just can't stop adding to, sitting down here in the pump chaser zone. Nice volume coming in at the lows. It's an exchange. It's a swap DEX, one of the original ones back in 2017 that came out before all the Uniswap hype. Just like BNT, I have high hopes for Kyber this year, and I think I can get a double out of my position at some point in the next little while. LTO also breaking out of this accumulation range, looking like it's ready for more takeoff. I don't love the buy area up here, but just keeping track of this one for anyone who already has a position. Neo sitting right down at this key level, could see some fireworks, as ONT I think is somewhat related and is doing quite well. as being another Chinese blockchain project. So I'll be watching Neo as well. And VET, just like we talked about last week, not really one I'm interested in after seeing this nice move up from the 100 sat level, coming into fib extension levels, short reload zones. Yes, it could consolidate here and continue, but as far as finding trades goes, there's just better charts for me to look at. And this one could come down and cool off even as low as 129 just to retest this previous breakout level. But for me, not my style. Volume is picking up on MTA down here after confirming bullish market structure yet again, the rejection last week, and now just kind of closing above. So this consolidation here is interesting to me. This huge red volume candle is not looking great. On the 4 hour, it's more bullish looking in the sense that the buy volume outpaced the sell. But this thing is just like, there just seems to always be somebody sitting around waiting to dump the price back down on these breakouts. But I do think that if we get back up to these highs around $5, it could get into possibly a little more price discovery, which would be exciting for my homie Messi, because I know he's been holding on to this thing, trading this thing, got a sizable bag. So I'm cheering for him, and I am looking at perp longs right around this retest here. So that's it for this morning's market update. I think the best chart to look at right now is this Bitcoin dominance risk on, risk off window. If we can range in here, it'll be kind of business as usual. But if we break these lows, oh my God, watch out. Altcoins are going to go crazy all over the market as people scramble to catch the next leg, whatever that may look like. And I'm very excited for what that looks like going into Q2. A couple days left in Q1, 2 to be exact. I'll be back on Wednesday at 3 p.m. Eastern time. If you have not already and you'd like to subscribe to this channel, we'd appreciate it bigly. You can hit the like button and also the notification button. Sometimes our videos go live and YouTube doesn't tell you. So if you want to see what's coming up, if you want to see the names on my short list, all that stuff right on time when they go live, hit that bell, hit the sub, hit the like. Have a wonderful day, guys, and whatever you do, always play from a position of strength. Take care.